Toxic friends and family are bad for your general well-being. Take a look at this scenario. When one rotten tomato is surrounded by a couple of fresh tomatoes, what happens eventually? Over time, the fresh tomatoes would get rotten. Why is it this way? Why can't the freshness be transferred to the rotten tomato? It's because, in life, toxic and rotten things usually hold a lot of power and are the loudest. They can destroy good things, and they don't stop until everything is bad. This is the same with your toxic friends and family. If you keep relating with them closely, they would make you rot like that rotten tomato. It's important to be very careful of friends and families that aren't sincere and honest towards you. The major issue is identifying this person. How do you know toxic friends and families? One way to identify them is that they always greet your pleasant news with negativity or even no enthusiasm at all. For example, when something good happens to you and you tell your friends and families, they may get envious and point out the negative things about that decision and have only bad things to say about your good opportunities. If you have friends and families that are always doing this, whenever you speak to them about your good news, then you must look for a way to stop telling them all the good news in your life. Toxic friends and families will always actively try to outdo you. For example, if you share good and big news with them, they may try to also respond by sharing something bigger with you. If they do this over time, whenever you're sharing the good news with them, then they are toxic, and you need to be careful of relating with them. While interacting with these jealous and toxic family and friends, set limits on the emotional and time space you give to them. Don't give these toxic people a lot of your time and energy. And be careful about how much you tolerate their attitude. Don't give them a heavy amount of your time and energy when they're always against you, when they always disrespect you or violate your boundaries. You have no responsibility to keep respecting people who don't respect you. You don't have to keep making time for them. You can disengage from them. That's the best thing to do. Be careful and avoid one-on-one interactions with these toxic people. Of course, you can reach out to them on a minimal basis from time to time. However, you should focus your time and energy on true and valuable friends and families. Try to put yourself around people who have the same values as you do. Be careful of these toxic people. The less you interact with them, the better for your life. Remember that a person is best destroyed from within, so if you keep giving them a chance to get close to you, they would break you and ruin you. They could ruin you through your secrets and weaknesses. They could also ruin you by causing you to face so much emotional distress. They could constantly be trying to make you feel bad about yourself. These jealous and toxic people will make you feel bad about your success and accomplishment, and will make you feel guilty when you share it with them. They just always want to bring your morale and accomplishments down. These jealous and toxic people will never admit that you deserve the success that you're getting. They will always insist that you just got lucky. These set of people are people you ought to move away from. They just believe that you're not worthy of the position you're getting. They believe that you just happen to be at the right place at the right time. These toxic people will never offer you support when you need it, even when you're achieving something. They will say hurtful things to stop and discourage you from going further. They're always envious of your activities, plans, and success. After you've identified their toxic attitudes, don't try to lower yourself just in a bid to satisfy them or reduce their jealousy. This strategy doesn't work. It'll only make your friend view you as someone who doesn't take your success seriously, and this would only make them angrier and more jealous of you. While you're trying your best to reduce the jealousy in the relationship and sustain your relationship, you're going to ruin it. because your talking down on your success would only get them more envious of you. Instead of doing this, it's better to address jealousy and toxic people by talking to them. Be very careful of toxicity and jealousy from family and friends. You can try to talk about it if you've noticed signs of jealousy or feel your friendship has changed. Talking about may help. Your friend may act very unconsciously. You can talk to your friends, but make sure you don't accuse them of being jealous. You can rather use the "I feel like" statements. You just may realize that your friends act up and are because they like you a lot and are scared that you may want to stop hanging out with them. They may be scared that the friendship will change. If you have a discussion with them and observe them over time, you'd be able to know if you ought to keep talking to them as friends or if moving on is the best option. But if your family and friends are just outrightly jealous and toxic toward you because they don't want anything good for you, then it's best to move away from them. If you've talked to your family or friend and it's as though there are no changes, and in fact, it seems to be getting worse, then it's best to take some steps back, at least temporarily. If they continue to make conversations that are full of unpleasant remarks about you, and they're always trying to make you feel bad despite you trying to settle, then it's best to let go of that relationship. While it's true that ending a friendship or close relationship with a family member you like can be very painful, it's much better to end it than to continue through a toxic relationship that offers you no support. Observe these toxic friends and family in your life and keep a record of their pretending and malicious behavior. Not to use it against them, but to help you know when it's time to cut off from them. If this person is less likely to change or become loyal, then you would have to cut them off. Ensure that you're not neglecting your own emotional needs when you're dealing with these people, because they can be very manipulative and very hard to please, so ensure that you're not putting them over you and accommodating their excesses. Put your own emotional needs first over those of the people around you. If the relationship with them is getting too exhausting for you, you should end it. Toxic and jealous people will blackmail you emotionally. They will manipulate you with their anger, rage, and shame till they get you to do what they want. You must focus solely on your emotional security and happiness. If someone is trying to blackmail you emotionally, don't engage with them. End all manipulations, constantly not interested in your well-being. If they're not for your progress, if they keep violating your boundaries, then you need to break off from them. It's okay to walk away if someone's behavior and attitude are too malicious and pretentious for you to keep up with. If this person is someone you have to see regularly, then cutting off all ties with them may be unneeded for you. You may have to keep things on a mutual note. However, make sure to establish a strong line of boundary and don't give in to their deceitful actions. Don't attempt to see this person on a one-to-one basis. Don't let them get closer to you. While you can be so tempted to tell your family and friends about your businesses and what you are planning or doing at the moment, you must ensure you're not telling the jealous and toxic people who don't want the best for you. Make sure to do your best to discern the person you are telling isn't a fake lover. Ensure the person isn't toxic and jealous. It's easy to fall into the trap of telling everyone around you your plans and every detail of your life. But if your people are fake friends, then you must stop telling them the things in your life. Toxic people have an attitude of spoiling most things that comes in their path. They aren't true. They are fake people. They aren't ready to change any time, and it's hard to know if they're really with you or against you. It's therefore important that you put limits on the extent of your relationship with people like this.